Okay, are you ready? This video is a very important one. I'm going to talk to you about a way that I changed my life. This exercise that I'm going to give you, you need a pen and paper, first of all, if you're here watching this. We're going to go into the exact exercise that helped me and all of my clients transform their lives. It is a actionable, tangible, how to we work in. Get a pen, get a paper. You will be pausing me. Give me these 30 minutes. 30 minutes to figure out where in your life you need to work on, how you can shift and change your life, the actual things that are blocking you and stopping you. Do you know what they are? You're about to find out what they are. Are you ready? Let's get into it, my love. Okay, my friend, welcome to Next Level November. This is the month where everything goes down. I don't know if you've been here for a while or if you're brand new, but every single year for the past 3 years, we have been running Next Level November. It is the month where we invite you to level up and step into that next level version of yourself. I know we always want to do this. I know this is something that we say we want to do, but this month is the month where we give you the invitation to take a step forward and make the action happen. Because information is great, but we got a lot of information. We are living in the era of information, and it's not about the information. It's actually about the application. It's about what you apply, what you do with the thing that you know. What are you doing? How are you acting? How are you showing up? What are you going to do differently so you can get a different result in your life? We talk about this so much on the podcast. I speak about this in my programs. This is all I talk about on social media. It's what's in my book. It's what's on this show. But I want to give you the invitation right now. You know why? November's the month. It's 11 months into the year. And it's when I and all of my clients, and maybe you, start to go, fuck, the year's over. Shit, I can't believe it's November. Do you ever say that? Like, catch yourself being like, oh my God, it was already October. Oh my God, it's already Halloween. Oh my God, wow, how did December get here so quickly? It creeps up on you, my friend. These little incremental things that we don't do, that we say we're going to do, the discussions that we say we're going to have that we don't have, the promises we make to ourselves every January 1st. And then it comes to this time of the year and it goes, oh shit, did I do the things that I said I was going to do? What am I still struggling with? What am I actually doing really well with? What am I freaking over? What am I done doing? If any of these questions sound familiar and you've been here for a while, it's because every year, Hamish and I, my husband and I, do this goals and intention setting at the beginning of every year. We wrap up the year that was, we step into creating the year that is. And it's a massive workbook. I give it away every year. It's the biggest thing that we download, that people download from us. And we do a whole podcast on it and a whole training, and it's happening again. So don't you worry. But before January, let's talk about right now. If you're listening to this podcast right now in November, as I'm filming this at the end of October, this is the time where I would like to invite you to start checking in. Don't wait till January 1st to check in. Some people be hungover as hell January 1st, and I'm like, oh my God. I've done that. Okay. No judgment, girl. But like, that is the worst way to start the year. Like, you're drunk in the first day of the new year. And you could make that mean nothing, but I love meaning. I love when we get to choose the meaning. And I'm like intentional as fuck right now. I just hit my 40s this year. I'm like, I'm making a bank. I'm doing the impact. I'm traveling the world. I'm taking my kids with me. We're doing the big shit. We're impacting millions. I want to travel. I want to go to America and run events in 2024. I want to go overseas to the UK. I want to go to Europe. Never been to Greece or Europe. Like, we're trying to make some moves next year. And so the version of Erica that I was this year is not making those moves. So if I want to make moves I've never made, I have to step into someone that I'm not currently right now. And I would imagine that that's going to serve you as well. So a few things that I want to say. We're going to go into this episode. We're going to share some shit. We're going to do some reflection. And I want you to do some checking in on how you can actually next level yourself this month, right now. I don't care when you're listening to this episode. When you decide you want to next level yourself, you can. So I want to talk about how we can do that. But before we do that, I want you to just think about the year that was. Think about yourself, whether you're driving or you're walking your dog or you're running at the gym or you're listening to me right before bed, which some people do. No judgment. I think that would be so stressful to listen to someone like me before bed. But anyway, I see y'all out there. I love you. I love you. So think about the year that was. Think about the year that you've had. How has this year been for you? What experiences did you have? What things did you move through? What felt really hard? What felt really hard this year for you? See if you can think about something that has felt hard or has been hard or maybe is hard right now. I've got shit happening with my mother and it is so hard. Oh, it's so hard. There's shit going on in the world right now. Many things, by the way, many things going on that's hard. What's been hard? And I want you to think about what has been amazing, what has been effortless, what has been ease and flow this year. Don't be like nothing. Think about it. Has there been something that's free and flowing and easy this year for you? Just start to think about these things. And what has felt like it needs a level up? Like it hasn't been horrible, but it's just been niggling. Like you're like, oh, there it is. And it's bothering me. It's like a little fly that you're swatting, but it comes back to bother you. And you're like, go away. How do I fix this once and for all? And it keeps going back and forth, right? Think about these areas of your life because we're going to dig into them in this episode. We're going to talk about where in your life you're feeling stuck, where nothing is happening. Nothing at all is happening. We're going to identify those areas. If you're driving or you're not able to write, come back to this episode because you definitely want to write. We're going to identify the areas of your life that feel like they're doing really well and then they suck. It's called oscillating, like a rocking chair. Like you go, this is really awesome. Oh, shit, it's back. I lost some weight. I gained some weight. I was doing really well with my confidence, and now I lost my confidence. What areas of your life are that? And then we're going to talk about the areas of your life where you feel free, where you feel expanded, where you're flowing, where you feel amazing. That energy of like, yes, I have everything I want. So we're going to talk about those 3 areas, okay? As we do this, I want you to start thinking about some of these areas. How long have they been messing with you? How long has this been this way? Think about where you've tried to do things in the past and they haven't worked. And get curious. This whole episode is about you getting curious, okay? We just moved through the Life Audit series last month where we did all 4 episodes last month in October about, are you lost? How you know you're lost? How you know you're changing? Are you sabotaging? And then what it really takes to level up your life. And now we're going to talk about the areas of your life, the specific areas. I don't know about you, but when I have clarity on what's working and what's not working, and when I sit down with a pen and paper, which I do a lot, and I get the shit out of my head and onto the paper, like I get to take it out and see it outside of myself. There is power to be had in the written word, right? You can think about shit, you can type it on your phone, but when it's in your mind and you get a pen and you get a paper or a Kmart receipt or whatever the fuck you have to write on, toilet paper, it doesn't matter. Whatever you can write on, when you get it out of your head and onto paper, it's incredible because you start to almost like disassociate that from you. You start to go, oh, I am not my thoughts. Oh, I am not that idea. Oh, that's not me. Oh, it's outside of me. Oh, it's in my mind, but I can pull it out and then I can see it outside of myself. I can get some space between that anxiety. I can get some space between that nasty thought that says I'm not good enough. You create some space, and over here you can start to breathe. You can start to think about what you think about. You can start to question, ask, get curious like a kid. I don't want you to judge yourself right now. This is not the time for you to judge yourself, okay? That's not going to be helpful anyway. That's going to put you into a negative hole and spiral. We don't want to do that. But we want to get curious and figure out where in your life are things happening. And if you were going to level up in Next Level November, which is the month to level up, just saying, if you were going to level up, you have some clarity. You got a roadmap on what area specifically needs your attention. This is an exercise that I do inside of my program, The Sisterhood, which if you're not already a part of, what are you doing? Make it happen. You're going to get a chance to be able to join us as the program is relaunching, and it is so good. I do this at the retreat with my husband. When we have our retreats, we check in. This is a real deep check-in, and it's an opportunity for you to truly see with clarity what's going on, what needs your attention, what is happening, and why. Okay? So that's what we're about to do. Are you ready? If you are listening to me and you are able to have a pen and a paper, I want you to draw 3 circles. So one big circle on each page. I write really big. If you don't, then you're going to hate what I just told you to do. So do you, boo. But we need 3 circles for this exercise that we're about to do. And the 3 areas, again, we're going to talk about where you're stuck, where you're currently oscillating, going forwards and backwards, and where you're free. Why this is important is because every single woman that I've worked with that wanted to change her life didn't know where to start. It felt all encompassing. It was like, oh my God, this is so big. I feel lost. It's so much. I don't know what to do. It's like they couldn't narrow it down. And so this experience and this exercise helps us, me included, to be able to narrow down where exactly do we need to focus. We can't focus on 50 things at once. You can't change your entire life at once. It's not going to happen. And so sometimes when it feels too big, we don't know what to do, so we do nothing, and then nothing changes. So in this exercise, my goal is that we get one area that you need to focus on, that it jumps out on the paper and goes, me, look at me, you've been avoiding me for years, let's do this. And you focus all your energy and intention on that. And then when you move that one area that feels like it's nothing, every fucking part of your life changes, okay? It's like an avalanche, and you kick a little rock, and then all these rocks fall down and you're like, damn, it was just one little rock. Yeah, one little rock made a big difference, and it made some space for the rest of that shit to tumble down. Cool? So I know that's a weird analogy because we're not wanting your life to come tumbling down, but we want this shit to free up some space so that you can actually get what you want, because you can get what you want. You can have the life you want. Okay? That's important that I tell you that, and I want you to believe that. And it is true. Okay, let's do this. So the first circle is going to be called stuck. So just at the top of the circle, you're going to write stuck, right? So in this circle, I want you to have a think about all the areas in your life you feel stuck. Now, stuck, I want you to imagine concrete. You get stuck in concrete. Your feet get stuck. You're not moving, baby, okay? They're going to have to cut you out of the concrete. A building is stuck. It's not moving. It's not swaying left to right. This is an area of your life where nothing is happening. For example, you don't have any money and you don't have a job. You're stuck. There's no job. You're not going for interviews. You don't have any money coming in. That area is stuck. Or another example, maybe you have wanted to lose weight, right? You've wanted to lose weight, but you haven't exercised. You keep eating the way you're eating, and you don't have a gym membership, and you're not doing anything about it. But you're sitting on the couch going, fuck, I wish I had lost weight. But you're not doing anything. There's no movement, action. Make sense? So that is genuinely stuck in a rut. That area of your life would be stuck. Or another one, you want to date, you want love, but you're not going on dating apps. You don't go to speed dating. You don't go out. You basically don't leave your house, and you want to find love, but you're not doing anything. So that area of your life is stuck. Okay? So stuck. The second area of your life I want you to think about is oscillating. Oscillating is like, where are you taking 2 steps forward? Like, yeah, I'm doing this. And then 5 steps back. It's like the rocking chair. You go forward and you're like, oh shit, back to this again. For example, I lost a pound, and then I was doing really good with my food. And then I binged on the weekend because I got sad about something, and now I've gained 5 pounds, right? I set boundaries, and I ended that toxic ass relationship. But then he called me and we caught up and we had sex. That's back and forth. Make sense? So what area of your life right now is oscillating? Where do you feel like you do really well, and then you take 5 steps back, and then you do kind of good, and then you're back again? And a lot of the areas are like money, worthiness, boundaries, like leaky, right? We're leaky. We go back and forward. Just write down what areas of your life right now you feel are oscillating. Now, oscillating means they're moving. They're not like stuck means no movement at all. Concrete. Oscillating is a rocking chair. We're moving. Now, the third and final area of your life is free. Even that word feels good, right? Like freedom, free. What area of your life are you fully free and flowing? For some people, they feel free when they're dancing, when they're exercising, when they're with their kids, right? When they're, I don't know, doing their craft, what they love, art, when they're painting, when they're pottery things they're doing. I feel free when I'm out and about, when I'm in nature, I feel free. Where do you feel free? And here's what I want to say. You could pause me. Please do this, okay? Where are you stuck? 1 to 2 to 3 areas. If you feel a lot of areas, write them down. No shame in the game, okay? We're getting curious. We're asking ourselves, you know what you're doing right now? You're checking in with yourself. I love you, but the amount of people who don't check in with themselves, we just operate on autopilot 95% of the time. Do you know that 95% of the time we're operating on a program autopilot? We don't even know how we drove to work. We don't even know what we did. Like, how the hell did we get here? We're not consciously thinking and aware. So right now, you are stopping the autopilot. You are asking yourself, where in my life am I stuck? So don't get the guilt. Just write it down. The second one, oscillating. What's going well, then goes back to shit. Then does really well, then goes back to shit. What area of your life? Okay, write that down. Third and final, what feels free? Now, if you only have one thing that feels free, that's okay. If you have 10 things, fantastic. None of this is a judgment. Cool. You're not getting this right or wrong, air quotes. You can't get this wrong or you can't get this right. It's just you doing what works for you. A lot of the women that I work with, and even when my husband and I do this at our retreat, a lot of people find that there's a lot in the oscillating. There's not as much in stuck or as much in free, but there's a lot in the oscillating. Yeah. So whatever you have, drop it in there, pop it in the circle, stuck areas that you're stuck, in the circle oscillating where you're oscillating, and in the circle free where you're free. Cool? I'm going to pretend that you paused this tape and you did that. We're going to move on now. Go to the stuck circle. And in the stuck circle, I want you to look at the area of your life that you're stuck. And I want you to think about what you think about being stuck in that area. For example, I'm stuck in my relationship, my intimate relationships. So I want to date. I want to find love. I'm fucking lonely. I don't have love and I'm not out and about dating and I'm actually anxious about it. And so feeling stuck in romantic relationship, how does that feel? How does that make you feel? You could say lonely. You could say self-pity because it probably does. Makes you feel angry. Maybe it makes you feel sad or depressed. Whatever the feeling is. What's the feeling of you being stuck financially, of you being stuck with your self-worthiness, of you feeling stuck in a job that you hate? How does that feel? So write down the feeling in each of the areas of stuck. Now we're going to go over to oscillating. You're going to write down the areas, the feeling of oscillating. I feel angry at myself. I feel frustrated that I lose weight, then I gain weight, that I lose weight, then I gain weight. I feel frustrated. I feel fucking angry and I feel frustrated. And it pisses me off. Okay, cool. What are the areas are oscillating and how do you feel? And then you're going to move on to free and you're going to do the same thing. How does it make you feel to be free with your children, free in your body, free when you're in nature? How does that feel? How does it feel to be free in that space of your life, that area of your life? Put the feeling down, okay? Cool? Done? You paused me. You did it. I'm pretending you're doing this work. I hope you're doing the work, girl. Okay, here we go. Now the final kind of thing that we're going to do here, going back to stuck. So let's keep with the relationship. So I'm not dating. I don't have a partner and I really want love. I feel stuck, right? I'm stuck in that romantic relationship department. How does it make me feel? I feel like shit. I feel sad. I feel lonely. I feel self-pity. I feel frustrated. I'm fucking pissed off, but also really sad and lonely. Okay, cool. When you're feeling all those things in stuck, what are you telling yourself? What's the thought that runs through your mind? And let me just tell you real quick, it's not a happy thought. Usually the thought is shitty. What's the shitty thought that your mind is telling you about being stuck in romantic relationship and not having a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a partner or a lover? What is your mind saying? For example, you're too old. You're never going to find love. It's too late for you. There's no one out there for you. You're not lovable. Whatever. I know this is horrible, but let me tell you from the experience, I have done this exercise myself multiple times and I know what I wrote. And then I've got clients that I work with on this and I know what they write. This is not to judge yourself, but this is to give yourself some perspective. Okay? So you feel stuck in romantic relationships, makes you feel like shit, makes you feel angry, pissed off, depressed, lonely. And you tell yourself that you're never going to find anyone because you're 35 and by now you should have had love, air quotes. And that there's no one out there that's going to love you. And that there's no more fish in the sea. And that you're never going to find love, whatever it is. Put the statement down. And it shouldn't feel great. Cool? And then I want you to think about the other area of your life that you're stuck. How does that make you feel? And what do you tell yourself about that area? What are you saying to yourself? What's the narrative? What's the thought process? We're going to move over to oscillating. How does it make you feel that you lose weight and gain weight and come back and yo-yo and now you're there and now you're back here? How does it make you feel? And what are you telling yourself? For me with the weight shit, I was like, I'm not, what's the word called? not organized, but I just felt really not committed. You're just not committed. You just don't give a fuck. You can't do this. You don't have the willpower to do this. You're always going to struggle with your weight. You're always going to have issues. You're never going to love your body. Like I would tell myself this stuff. This is what my mind was saying. And although this can be confronting, this is you checking in with what the fuck's going on. And if we're going to change anything, if we're going to level up in November, right, which is what this whole shit is about, we need to know what is going on. We need to know where we're not leveling up. We need to know where it's stopping us. I want you to know what you're up against, baby. You're up against a beast in these areas. And if you don't know, we're either going to go in blind and not focus on it, or we're going to be really surprised when we realize that we can't change shit. And why can't we? So I want you to go in knowing. So oscillating, what are you telling yourself about going forwards and backwards and yo-yoing? What are you saying to yourself? It's not a good statement or sentence usually, but just pop it down on the paper, okay? Every area, by the way, that you are oscillating. So if you're oscillating with money, I don't know how to save money. I never know where my money goes. I've always been bad with money. I need a rich white man to save me. Whatever. The third and final area is the free box. Feels so good. The free box. Free circle, sorry. And you're writing in there, I feel free in nature. How does it feel? What do you tell yourself? What do you say to yourself? What's the sentence that plays in your mind that makes you feel free? I love this area of my life. Nature is good for me. I deserve to feel free in nature. You know, my children are my life. I am so happy that I'm joyful. Whatever you tell yourself, the positive thought process, the positive mindset in that. So by now, we should have 3 circles, stuck, oscillating, and free. In each one of those, an area where you feel stuck, where you feel like you're yo-yoing, oscillating, and where you feel like you're free. And under that, you should have a feeling, how you feel being stuck, how you feel oscillating, how you feel being free. And then the statement or the sentence or the thought that you tell yourself on the daily in that area. Are you with me? That's where we are right now. Okay, so now we have all these feelings, all these thoughts, and here's my invitation to you. My invitation is, I've done a few podcasts on the way that we think and our mind and our thoughts. I've done a podcast with Byron Katie, who y'all know if you've been here for a while. I love her. I want you to, number one, just highlight or circle all those thoughts, the statements in stuck and oscillating. Free, not right now. Free is great, by the way. If you got free, amazing. If you don't have free, don't worry. But what I want you to do is I want you to grab the thoughts, the sentences that you are telling yourself that are not positive, right? Inside of stuck and inside of oscillating. Now let's pretend that we say, I'm too old and never will find love. I'll never be the weight that I want to be. I don't have any willpower. I've always been overweight. No one will ever love me. I'll never have enough money. None of these feel good, by the way, right? But I suck with money. I don't know how to handle money. Let's say these are the thoughts. And I'm telling you some that I've said myself. Cool? Those are mine. So I take these thoughts and I start working with them. And I want you to start looking at the one that really fucks with you. What's the area in stuck or oscillating that's really messing with you? If you can, choose an area from stuck. Because there's no movement, baby. There's nothing happening there. So if you feel stuck, let's say, let's keep using the romantic relationship example if that's cool with you. If you have another one, just use yours. I'm not dating. I don't find anyone. I'm 35. Worse, I'm 40. I don't have love. I live alone. I feel self-pity. I feel lonely. I feel pissed off. How does that make you? What do you think? What do you say about yourself? I'm never going to find anyone. I'm going to be single forever. Who would want me? I'm so old. It's too late for me. All that shit that we say. You take those thoughts, and I want you to take the big one, the one that hurts the most, and I want you to put it on a piece of paper. And what we're going to do next is start to ask and inquire the truth. Let's find the truth. Because here's the thing. When you feel this way, stuck in this area of your life, and you feel angry, pissed off, self-pity, all of the feelings, you start to think more thoughts that like kind of work with those feelings. So like, I feel lonely, I feel self-pity. See, I told you I'll never find anyone. Yeah, because you're shit and makes me feel more shit. Yeah, because you're too old and no one loves you and no one wants you. And your auntie keeps asking you, when are you going to get married and have kids? And your mom said, by now you should have a boyfriend, and you're blah, 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 blah. And it makes you feel shit, and it makes you thoughts, feelings, more thoughts that create more shitty feelings. And it's this cycle. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about the thought feeling cycle. It's amazing. Please listen to him. He's incredible. And so it continues. And here's the invitation. Here's what my whole podcast and my work is about. If we don't question what we think, if we don't inquire and ask better questions of our mind and of ourselves, we start to believe the bullshit that we think. and it keeps you stuck. So you not doing this keeps you perpetuated in that loop. Does that make sense? So here's what will happen. I'll never find love. I'm not going to find anyone. I'm too old and there's no one will love me. Let's use that one. I've got a few friends that believe that. I'll never find love. I'm too old and no one will love me. So we take, I'm too old, no one will love me, I'll never find love, which is like 3 sentences. We put it on a piece of paper. And I go, close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, feel into the thought. Whatever the thought is that you have, feel into it. Is this true? Is it true? I'm about to BK this shit right now. Is it true that I'm too old? Is it true that I will never find love? Is it true that no one will love me? No one? Now, already you can hear my tone that clearly it's not true. But if you don't question what you're thinking, you will believe everything you think. And your thoughts will then turn into beliefs. And what's her name? Abraham Hicks is like, a belief is just a thought you think a lot. And it's so true. It's not true. It's a belief because you think about it all the time and you haven't questioned your beliefs. There's a beautiful quote, and I don't know who the man is, but he says, we question our beliefs, except for the ones that we truly believe, and we never think to question those. We never think to question those. So what are you believing about yourself in regards to the stuck area? So you pop it down, put it on paper. Then you're going to do the inquiry. I love Byron Katie because it's easy. If you haven't listened, I have so many episodes on the podcast of Byron Katie, and then I interviewed Byron Katie herself. We start to inquire. We start to go, curiosity. Let me do a meditation. Is it true no one will ever love me? Is that true? What do you think as you're listening to me? Do you think it's true that no one will ever love you? Can you know for sure? And if your mind says yes, cool, write down yes. Question 2 is, can you absolutely know for sure that it's true? Can you absolutely know for sure that it's true? When you check in with that, well, I guess I can't absolutely know for sure. I don't know. Maybe someone loves me. I don't know. Blah, blah. Okay, no. Or maybe you get a yes. Put it down on paper. Question 3, how do you react? Who do you become? How do you live when you believe that thought? Is that thought stressful, first of all? Does it stress you out to think that no one will love you? How do you live? How do you react? Who do you become when you believe that thought that you're telling yourself? Oh, well, what happens to me is I start getting visions of me living with 17 cats. I start thinking about me eating ice cream and being overweight on the couch and watching reality TV and being miserable and hating my life and going to the movies by myself and seeing a couple and spitting on the couple because I'm so angry and jealous and bitter. Oh, what else do I see? Me crying. It pisses me off, makes me sad. No. That's who I become when I believe the thought that nobody wants me, I will be single forever, and I will never find love. How does it feel? Like shit. What happens to me? I get angry, I get stressed, my body tightens up. I start thinking bad thoughts. I start feeling more depressed, like I don't want to do shit. I start feeling sad. That's what happens to me. So question 1, is it true? Yes or no? Doesn't matter. You decide. Question 2, can you absolutely know for sure that it's true? Question 3, who do you become? What happens to you when you believe that thought? When you think that thought, what happens to you? What do you see? What vision do you see? How do you act? Do you close off? Do you stay home even more? Do you wear sweatpants all damn day? Do you eat more ice cream? Like, what happens? And this is the best one. Question 4. She says, who would you be without that thought? Who would you be without the thought? Let's say you bumped your head gently and got insomnia. Like you couldn't, amnesia, not insomnia. You got amnesia and you didn't remember that thought. You bump your head. You can't think that thought. Who would you be without that thought? Oh, shit. I don't know. Maybe I'd be happier. Maybe I'd be out. Maybe I would go out with my friends. Maybe I would just be free wherever I am. Maybe I would put myself out there more. Maybe I would put some clothes on, brush my teeth. Maybe I wouldn't eat shit every day. I mean, I'd definitely go out more when my friends ask me out. I have friends. I'd be more social. I'd just go out and have a good time. Fantastic. Cool. The process is figuring out what are you telling yourself and about these areas. and just inquiring. I want you to become the security guard of your mind, right? Like you're the security at your mind. Hi mind. I'm at the security. All the thoughts coming through, I'm checking them. What's this thought? I'm never gonna find love. I'm gonna be miserable forever. I don't know if that's a true. I don't know if you can come in. I don't know about that. Can I see some ID? Like who invited you? I don't know who invited you. I'm not good enough. I don't know if you can come in here. Right? You just stop. You stop. You take note. You inquire. You ask questions. You investigate. You ask for ID. You don't just, somebody knocks on the door, you fucking let them walk up into your mind and hang out and take their shoes off and lay on the couch of your mind. You don't do that. You're like, who the fuck are you? How did you get my address? What are you here for? I didn't order Uber Eats. Like, who are you? And what are you doing here? Let me check you out. So I'm asking you to go to those thoughts that you wrote down in the stuck and in the oscillating and check them out. Investigate them. Is it bullshit that you have been believing and never inquiring? Does it feel true for you? Okay, cool. What if it wasn't true? How would things change? Would things change? Is there a better thought to think? That's the final part of this. Is there a better thought to think here? How can I think a better thought? Oh, the better thought says to me, actually, yeah, I am learning how to date. One day I will find love. I am open to finding love. I don't have love yet in my life, but I'm open to getting it. I know love is on its way. I know that I am worthy of being loved. I know there's someone out there willing and wanting to love me. All those thoughts, baby, all those thoughts feel better than the original shit you were thinking. And guess what? When you feel better, you take better action, you get better results. Do you want to feel shit and keep the spiral, the thought feeling spiral? And then also you're believing shit that's not true. For real, I don't know if anybody can say to me that that thought is true. I will never be loved by anyone. Not true. Sorry. There are people that love me that I don't even know that love me. I love so many people that don't know that I love them. That's not true. There are people on the planet that will love you. Maybe not the way that you think you need to be loved, but they will be loved. Right? And so inquiry, deep inquiry, taking stock of what you're thinking, figuring out where you feel stuck, where in your life you keep going well and then shit's back again and yo-yoing. What's happening where? What's going on? This is the GPS map back to you. And then figuring out how that makes you feel and what are you telling yourself. It's just taking your brain, opening your brain like a lobotomy. You open your brain, you take it on paper, plop, and you just put your brain on paper and go, wow, hi brain, all those fucking thoughts, great. Half this shit's not real or not true. That thought over there has been fucking with me for 10 years. That thought over there was given to me by my grandma. Damn. Ooh, that thought's sneaky. I think of that shit 10 times a day. I didn't even know I thought that. It's about the awareness of figuring out and thinking about what you think about. This is the key to the world. If you could do, I'm teaching my kids this, by the way, 8 years old, 6 years old. I am teaching my children that their thoughts are the things that they can work with. That if they want to be sad, they can be sad. And how that's going to make them feel. And what questions can they ask themselves? What's a better thought? My son the other day said to me, today wasn't a good day, mommy. I'm like, really? We had a really good day today, Raven. He's like, it wasn't a good day. I'm like, okay, tell me all the things. Like there was like 4 things that happened bad. And I'm like, okay. And we had an amazing day, by the way. We went to the arcade. We had the best day. And I'm like, okay, so let's talk about how many things happened good, how many things happened. Let's talk about it. I'm like, what's something good that happened? And he starts telling me the good things. What else happened that was good? Good thing. So I'm moving his focus onto the good things that happened in the day. There were 10 good things that happened in that day. And then we talked about the things that he wasn't happy with. There were 4. And I'm like, cool. Do we want to focus on the 4 things that were hard and didn't work well and say the whole day gets painted with that brush? Or do you think today was an awesome day with a few challenges? And he was like, oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, there was more things that happened. Cool. I'm like, baby, you get to choose. I mean, if you said the other way, you get to think about all the bad things. How does that make you feel? He goes, it doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel angry. It makes me feel sad. I don't feel good. I'm like, cool. Thinking about all the good stuff, how does that make you feel? He's like, it makes me feel good. I'm like, cool. What do you want to do when you feel good? And I'm explaining this to my 8-year-old, okay? Can you imagine if we learned this shit in school, by the way? Who would we be? We would not be sick. We would not be people that depend on alcohol and drugs and fast food and comfort shit and TV watching and fighting. Oh, God, don't even get me started. There's a whole other podcast that we're not about to have. But can you imagine the power of this? This is the power that you have in your mind. If you make the time to do the circles, to write down, to check in, to feel it, to inquire, to investigate, get Byron Katie's book. I already tell you all the time to get her book. I love her. She's incredible. I talk about her in my book. She is amazing. But start to question, what are you believing? Is it serving you? How are you walking around in the world? Is it actually helping you? Is it actually true, baby? Or is it some fucking bullshit that you've been believing for years, blindly believing, and it's been guiding and leading the way that you feel, which is leading and attracting who you get and who attracts into your life, or what you don't get, better yet said, that. And you can shift that now in this podcast. Okay? Yes, this is a long one. I did not plan to do this long one, but I hope that you listen. I hope that you share this with a girlfriend who needs this. I hope that you stop this, pause it, go back to it, do it again. Send me screenshots of your circles on Instagram or wherever you are, LinkedIn, please. Like, I would love to know. This makes me so happy that we can share some tangible exercises that can actually help you to get out of your own way, that give you at least some awareness, some presence as to what you need to do and who you want to become. And if you feel like you've enjoyed my podcast, if you like the work that I do, if you follow me on any of the social media platforms, and if you've enjoyed any of this, I want to highly invite you to go over to the website, thequeenofconfidence.com. If you live overseas, we have an offering for women that are not in Australia. You can join, you can work with me, live coaching. It's incredible. If you live in Australia, you get to do live events and we get to hang out in real life. And I love me some fucking live events. Whatever it is you decide to do, just make it happen for yourself. Don't fuck around listening to podcasts and not actioning. It doesn't do anything. It makes your brain think that it's doing personal development, but nothing's happening. There's no change. Years happen, years pass, and then what happens? And I'm like, make it happen for yourself, baby. Okay? So click the link in the show notes. Hit up Next Level November. Hit us up in the sisterhood. Let me know how this podcast was for you. And if it serves you, share it with somebody who needs this exercise in their life. I love you so much, and I'll see you soon.